There's never been a time in history where it's been easier to communicate through video. Businesses and organizations have so many opportunities to use video for so many purposes. Customer testimonials, product demonstrations, brand messaging. Video is powerful. I love hearing the stories of people who purchase a product, sign up to be a dealer, or donate to help with a need because of a video we produced here. My passion for video production has its roots in my childhood. I loved letting my imagination run wild. I loved making things with my hands. I loved stories. I loved reading and writing. In college, I realized video was the perfect combination of all of those things I enjoyed. I graduated with a film production degree and have worked for over a decade now to serve my clients to the best of my ability. Today, I take that love for creative things and for storytelling, and I apply that to every project that I tackle here at Center Street Productions, whether big or small. I make an effort to match the needs of my clients with the best tools of the trade that I have available to me. But for me personally, video is not just about the latest trends or tech. It's about effective communication and telling a good story. If you're looking for someone to help your company or organization communicate through video, contact us. I would love to help you succeed through my work here at Center Street Productions. So Corey, tell me what you're doing.
Custom video production. You might think it's too expensive, too hard, too time-consuming. But no matter who you are, you have a story to tell.
I was asked to develop a safety program.
I'm thankful for a leadership of vision. I'm thankful for a church that's able to embrace that vision.
Trait development here at BASF.
It's now, as we know it, the building block.
The building might get you through the door, but the people are going to make you stay.
Do you ever wonder why disappointing and discouraging events in the world seem to dominate our news?
Story is the best way to connect your business or organization with your audience, and we can help.
It was the best day of my life at that moment. It just felt amazing.
What's up, bro? Good to see you, man.
I will never forget that. I hated Christmases. I was still carrying that anger.
Now I'm coming to you today from one of my favorite places in all of East Central Illinois.
One of the reasons that Initech is so successful is our attention to detail.
So what's your story? We can help you educate, connect, and inspire.
It's been a wild ride this year, but we're still here. We're open, we're busy, we're excited to serve you.
Put you down about 6 o'clock for tomorrow morning.
Whether you work here, live here, or you're just passing through, discover Iroquois County. Can't wait to see you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the first episode of the Discover Iroquois County webinar series brought to you by the Iroquois County Chamber of Commerce. My name is Katie Canada, and I am the Director of Community Relations and Development for Uplifted Care in Bourbonnais, and I also sit on the Board of Directors for the Iroquois County Chamber. We are very excited to be bringing this webinar series to our businesses, to our members and beyond, so that people can get a really great look into the businesses and the products and the services that are offered right here in our own communities. We're really excited today to be welcoming Phil from Center Street Productions in Watseka. We thought he was a great person to help us kick off this webinar series. Not only is he handling all of the stuff behind the scenes, but he's going to be running back and forth to do the presenting, and we're going to have some Q&A afterwards. And you're going to get a really in-depth look at the power of video and how it can help connect you and promote your business in a really digital world. So I'm very excited to welcome Phil, and I hope that you all enjoy his presentation. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Phil Gioja. I own Center Street Productions in Watseka. I'm a corporate videographer and documentary filmmaker, and I work with businesses and nonprofit organizations to do custom video in Illinois and across the United States. Many of our friends here in Iroquois County also know my wife, Laura. Laura does newborn and family photography out of our studio based here in downtown Watseka. I began doing video production work as Center Street Productions in 2004. Laura began her photography business out of a garage studio that we built together in 2007, and then we relocated to our current location here in downtown Watseka in 2009. I want to thank the Iroquois County Chamber of Commerce for asking me to present this talk about the power of video. I'm sure you've heard and seen many articles about how you should be using video in your business or organization, and I'm just hoping that this presentation will give you some ideas as well as some real-life examples of video that has been used right here in Iroquois County. Much of today's presentation is pre-recorded, but I will be live at the end of the presentation to take any questions and answers that you might have, and I hope that you find this presentation to be enjoyable as well as helpful to you and your business or organization. Video is a technology. It's an amazing communication tool, but it's not magic in that it's not going to make your business, organization, or church a better environment or a better place just because you have a great-looking video. When implemented well, video can help educate, connect, and inspire your target audience. The first step in creating an effective video is understanding your audience. What message do you believe will resonate with the people that you would like to reach with your video? Who would be the best person to deliver that message, and what visuals will complement and support your message? There's 4 different common requests for different types of videos that I receive here at Center Street Productions. And I'm going to kind of go over those a little bit. There's lots of different types of videos, but these are probably the 4 most common videos that are requested for me to make here at Center Street. First would be About Us videos. So similar to an About Us page on a website, this would be a video that talks about who your staff is, what your business is like, what your business values are, what you offer, what are your different products and services. So more of like an overview of a business type of video. Second type would be, for example, a product demonstration. So if you have a product that people are curious about, but they don't have hands-on access to it, you can create a video that helps them understand how does this product work, what does it do, what are its benefits, and that type of thing. A third type would be like a recruiting or an internal morale type video. So talking about the benefits of a position, talking about if there's somebody in your company that's already in that position, like why they care about it, what they're passionate about, what it is about working for your company that that really fits well for them. What are your company values, that type of thing. So how can you attract someone to your business? And then a fourth type would be customer testimonial. So not your words, but what are your customers' words about your product or your services, and really entrusting that message to them so that people would look at that and say, wow, they were served so well by your business, and think about what would it be like for me to work with them. So kind of trying to connect with your customer in that way. I've got a different example for each of these different types of videos. So here's a great example of a customer testimonial video that we did here in Iroquois County. This is with the Good Wine Grain Co-op. This video is actually paid for and produced by Iroquois Paving, and they did a project for Good Wine Grain Elevator. So check this out as an example of a great customer testimonial video.
My name's Michael Cabe, and I've been the manager here at Good Wine since January of 2018. We were basically running out of space. We knew we were going to be putting grain on the ground at some point if we wanted to stay open and service our customers. Our thought was, if we're going to put grain on the ground anyway, let's be proactive and plan for it and do it right. We knew we had to have a good base. But we were quickly running out of time. We could tell crops were ahead of schedule. It was going to be an early harvest. If this is going to happen, we're going to have to work with someone that can do it very quickly. IPC said, we'll work with you from the time they dropped off the piece of equipment until they left with all their equipment. I mean, it was a matter of less than 2 weeks, where you go from having standing beans to the beans, being mowed down, the dirt being turned, the rock brought in, and all of a sudden there's asphalt, and we were putting grain out there shortly after.
One of the great things about a good customer testimonial video is that you're actually promoting a customer of yours in a lot of ways. So you're promoting someone else's business or organization, and then that showcases how you help them. So it's actually a benefit not just to you, but also to the person that you are promoting as a part of your customer testimonial video. Recruiting videos are something that people are really looking at right now with the challenges in hiring post-COVID and throughout COVID, and with this new spike coming, how challenging it is to find people who are willing to work at this time. So how can you attract people to work for you? What is it that motivates people? One of the examples of this here locally is, again, working with Iroquois Paving on a variety of videos. They've decided to focus on what are some of our values, and what are some of the reasons that people want to work for us, and what are some of the things that we value in people that come and work for us, and really kind of building those ideas into the videos that we create for them. So here's an example of that.
Transportation is a big deal in the U.S. It's the lifeblood.
There will always be construction.
Roads are a part of everything.
We've been involved in the building in and around Iroquois County for 134 years.
This company was family owned. They want you to be successful. When somebody asks you how you're doing, they really mean it. Money's important, but family's even more important.
We're one of those highest paying companies in Iroquois County as far as wages and benefits. Right now we have about 150 people on the payroll.
Everybody's got a place they got to fit. You got to like what you do. If you're orientated to Iroquois County, Iroquois Paving would be a great place to work.
You can make a very good living in the trade if you want to work hard, and if you're motivated.
You're going to earn your pay here. That's what we do. You should earn your pay. Iroquois normally keeps my underground crew busy from April till beginning of December. We stay pretty busy. If you want to work, you come to Iroquois Paving, you'll work, and they treat you good here. So.
Been trailing a paver ever since I've been 18 years old. It's something that got taught to me by my dad. He took a lot of pride in his work.
Me and my brothers in our early teens, if you weren't in school, you were working. We might have been running jobs with 50-year-old men on it when we were 17. That's all I know.
You're going to get help from everybody. We're here to get the job done. Even Danny, our main guy, he'll help, so that's what I like about here.
All of our people are proud when they drive down the highway now that they can say to themselves, I'm proud of the fact that I can drive on a road that I made.
Do you have an unusual product or service that people might have a hard time comprehending at first? If someone's curious about your product or about your service, there's a lot they can learn before they actually try it out for themselves. So thinking about what you have to offer and how it could be explained and portrayed in a video, here's a product demonstration of a kind of unusual product, something that you would be surprised to find here in Iroquois County. But this is something called a breathing chair, and if you just saw it, you might not know how to use it. So here's a product demonstration video that shows you the benefits of using this breathing chair.
It's called an O2 chair. I have incorporated it into my daily lifestyle as well as my working days. It's very exciting. I was introduced to it at the Consumer Electronics Show in 2015 at Las Vegas. I had a 5-minute session on it at the time. I was hooked. There are very few of them. I have the only one in the Chicagoland area. Let me introduce you to an O2 breathing chair. What I've experienced in this O2 breathing chair is the benefit of a 20-minute break away from my day.
Let's start. Just relax.
It's easy to turn on, turn off.
Focus on your breathing.
It lays back. The idea is to reduce the weight on your body so when you breathe in, you're maximizing the airflow down into your lungs, which then goes into your bloodstream, which helps in many situations, emotionally, physically. This here is an oxygen producer. It allows oxygen to enter my breathing and it enhances my blood flow. It also rocks back and forth.
Breathe in. Breathe out. Finally, the About Us video. This would be probably something that you would commonly think of, perhaps commonly watch if you are looking at a business and you would like to learn more about them. Here's an example of an About Us video that I did for Abbey Insurance in Buckley, Illinois.
Insurance is one thing that you can shop around for.
We get a lot of referrals from our existing customers.
Been in the business for 33 years. We're in a rural area, so we need to do just about everything. We got the hospitals, we got the schools, we got the nursing homes. I just like talking to people and seeing what they need.
Being an independent agency, we do all kinds of insurance here: home, auto, farm, commercial, crop.
Property and casualty, auto, home, life, long-term care, annuities.
They have accident policies, cancer policies, hospital indemnity policies. They have dental, they have vision.
That's our big thing, is protecting people from the unexpected and protecting their livelihood, protecting the wealth that they have built up for the retirement years.
Our motto is if we can't write it correctly, we're not going to write it at all. So we want to make sure everything's covered properly, that we're going to feel comfortable putting our name on that policy.
I insure my crops the same way I would insure any of my clients. If they ask me, well, what are you doing? I tell them what I do. And the same way with life insurance and long-term care products, this is what I'm doing, or this is what I've done for my mom or my aunts and uncles.
It's more of a family feel. There's always someone to answer the phone and to help you with a claim.
We are accessible, whether it be for a claim or billing or changes on your policy. We're going to take care of it for you. And we pride ourselves on the fact that we do take care of our customers ourselves.
If I've got a question, I can walk in the door and talk to Dean, and I've done it often. I sell corn and soybeans. I carry commercial insurance with the seed treating. I also have some liability with that, as well as covering chemical product, insuring this facility, and insuring all my commercial vehicles. Insurance is, peace of mind. I recently had a small chemical mishap with my system, several $1,000s worth of chemical we lost. I called Abbey Insurance. I had an adjuster call me within a day. They came through and got things rolling for me.
I showed you this Abbey Insurance video because it brings up a fifth type of video that was not on the list. And this is something that I might call like a proximity video. So for Abbey Insurance, I actually did 3 different videos. Larry Abbey has a hobby, and that is antique tractors and antique agricultural equipment. So we actually did 2 videos, one with one highlighting an event in Buckley.
We're at the Buckley Fun Day in Buckley, Illinois.
Today is the Buckley Fun Day.
Today we have Fun Day, so once a year we get to all come together and have a celebration of living in Buckley. So we have the best of Buckley.
I do have an Oliver tractor here for the tractor show. Case, Alice Chalmers, John Deere, got 2 Fords. I'm probably one of the younger ones, so the guys here grew up on tractors like these. No cabs, just an engine, a transmission, and tires, We spent a lot of hours eating dust in those tractors and listening to them run.
And then the other highlighting the Half Century of Progress show in Rantoul.
Well, this is the Half Century of Progress in Rantoul, Illinois. It's on the former Chanute Air Force Base. My grandfather used to say he saw it all. He saw from horse and buggies to man on the moon. And I still think he probably saw a little bit more than me. Still, I saw from 2-row corn pickers to 12-row corn pickers, and 4-row planters to 24-row planters. And then all the technology, GPS, computers, times have really changed. Every day I ask people where they came from, and so far as Kentucky, Ohio, Minnesota, Iowa. In years past, I met people from England and Canada.
In talking to Larry after producing these videos for him, for his business, one of the things that he talked about was that he actually got a lot more visibility and a lot more connection and community interaction and things around the videos that we created, sponsored by Abbey Insurance, but about his hobby with the agricultural equipment. And I just found that very interesting to feel like there would be more interaction created around this kind of proximity video, but it perhaps benefits his business potentially even more, but at least creates a lot more conversation and connection and things like that with the community as a whole. So that's something to think about as you think about impacting kind of your local community. What are some things that your business is involved in that may not necessarily have a direct business impact, but might create connection, conversation, and recognition for your business that you wouldn't have otherwise in just promoting your business and your services? Some of the things that people respond to that they care about, they can be hobbies, but they could also be a sense of place, such as your hometown, such as your home county, Iroquois County, for example. Or this could also be values. So this next example highlights a couple who decided to highlight their values in the way that they talk about their business. So as you watch this, there's actually two very strong values that come out. One of them would be family relationship and how important that is to this couple as they work together in their business. And then the second would be the value of ownership. So when you think about taking one of your largest investments, which is your vehicle, to someone to have it cleaned and cared for, they talk about their sense of ownership of that and treating it as if it was their own. So watch this and see kind of how this video resonates with you and might speak to you in terms of their values and how that might connect to something that you care about very much.
Hi, I'm Hartzell Cabe. I'm in business with my wife Denise.
Hartzell and I have been in the Iroquois County area all of our lives.
Our business venture together with Quality Care Auto Detailing is what can we do together that someone else could benefit from?
I really enjoy doing a service for someone. I tag team with my husband, Hartzell. We enjoy taking a vehicle and making it look the best it possibly can. Making it shine and doing that for someone else is very rewarding.
Our goal is to give others the opportunity to appreciate what they have by restoring it back closest to its original look as possible. We are glad to detail any vehicle, new or old. Anything that can be cleaned up and made to shine is what we enjoy doing.
As we've started this venture, what I hear the most is, oh my goodness, I would never want you to do my vehicle. It's just too dirty. I get that.
Nobody has a beat-up junky car. There is nothing out there that is not worth bringing back, or at least retaining its value.
Bring it in and we'll make you feel good about your vehicle.
When we back a vehicle out, we want it to be over and above. If I was driving it home to my garage, I could get out of it, I could walk around it, and I could say, wow, that's how I want to feel when I back it out of our facility, and that's how I want the customer to feel when he pulls it in his garage at home.
One of the challenges for businesses and organizations is once you've created a video, how do you get people to see it? This can be a challenging thing, but if you're a local business or a local organization looking to connect with other local businesses and local organizations, think about the geography. You can very easily target geography on Facebook. There are quite a few different tools in being able to pinpoint exactly where you would like the video to be seen. And then also think about working in geographical landmarks and visuals within the video that help people to connect. So when they see it pop up on their Facebook feed, for example, they might see a sign that says Iroquois County. They might see a sign that says Watseka. They might see a church steeple that they recognize. They might see a water tower that they recognize. And so building in those geographical markers help give people that sense of place and help attract them and make them say, oh, that's interesting, I haven't seen that before, but I connect with that. And so it might make them stop and watch it, where in other instances maybe they wouldn't have. This also works with people that they recognize. Somebody that they know, that they do business with. If they see them on Facebook, they may stop and listen, where otherwise maybe they would just scroll on by. But because they already have that connection and that sense of place, sense of community, those types of things will help them stop and watch something that they might not otherwise. One of the things that some of my clients do is they will actually take a video that I've made, they'll put it on YouTube, and then they'll put a link to that video in their email signature. And what that does is it actually attaches the video then to each of your emails, so that when you send an email out, every time you're emailing somebody, which for me, for example, could be 100 times a day or something like that, there might be 100 emails that I'm sending out to different clients and different projects that I have coming up and things like that. That video is attached to every single email that you send out, and that way it's kind of a passive way that people always have the opportunity to watch the video that you've created without you having to do a whole lot of marketing work for that. So let's talk a little bit about the process of making a video. A lot of the video work that I do falls into a range of a finished length from about 30 seconds to about 5 or 6 minutes, depending again on where it's going to be seen and who the target audience is. For most of those types of projects, the process is very similar. Video is composed of two main elements, sound and image. Both are really important, but I consider the sound actually to be the foundation of your video in most cases. If you want to have somebody speaking in the video, which fits about 99% of the work that I do, you have basically three options. You can write a script and have it read either by a staff member, a volunteer, or by a professional voice actor who can be hired. We can send the script to them and they can send back an audio file and we can use that. We can conduct interviews and then edit those down to fit the video and fit the message that you're looking for. Or we can shoot reality-style scene work where your characters are interacting with each other and with the camera. I have three different examples here of these different types of videos. So we're going to start with a scripted voiceover, and this example is from the city of Watseka. When things you depend on are suddenly considered non-essential. When places you enjoyed visiting become the places you least like to go. When things that bring you joy are now off limits, dangerous, or just so complicated. When what you earned with your blood, sweat, and tears begins to slip through your fingers, and people you love nearby suddenly feel so distant. When your world stops overnight. It's important where you find yourself. Will you be able to work from home? Will you be able to find toilet paper? Will you have access to food? Can you get where you need to go? Is it even safe to go outside? We've been through a lot of challenges together, Watseka, and we'll get through this one too, together. And maybe, just maybe, people will begin to realize that small towns really are great places to live, work, and play. Sure, life can be a little slower and quieter here sometimes, and maybe that's the point. We love you, Watseka. Let's keep moving forward together. We can't wait to see you again soon. For Heritage FS's 25th anniversary, we did a variety of different interviews with people that had been with the company for a long time and talking about the history of the company and how it grew and that type of thing. So here's an example of an edited interview video.
I have been with the FS system for 42 and a half years. I knew nothing about farming.
When I first started, I was working here as part-time out of high school. I've been here 9.5 years.
I worked for Heritage FS probably 22 years.
I work at a Heritage FS at Beaverville. I've been there 19 years in February.
Started my 40th year a couple weeks ago. There's been an Ike on the fuel truck since 1927, so it's been a real big part of our family and couldn't think of working anywhere else.
When I think about the history of Heritage FS, I go all the way back to its roots in the formation of Ford County Service Company in 1927. We are 90 years plus. For any corporation or entity to last that long, it says a lot about the culture, says a lot about the people, and it says a lot about the business they're in and how they go about doing it.
The 80s were a tough time for agriculture and farming, and with this being now 1992 with the beginning of Heritage FS, I think it was just, there was a new beginning. Initially it was Ford Iroquois and Kankakee Service Company came together, then we merged with Will DuPage, and then over the years, Meyer Oil Company and the Watseka Farmers Co-op.
Almost immediately within that first year, the company turned a nice profit. Equipment was being upgraded. The guys were driving trucks that you could be proud to be seen in the country. Our customers were starting to talk. They also were seeing the benefit of what we were doing.
And then lastly, the reality style scene work, where it's almost like an actor, where the actor is interacting either with someone else in the scene or with the camera, with you as the viewer. So here's a good example of that from our local reality TV stars, Nichols Paint and Fab.
All right. I'm a little rusty here, so you gotta give me some...
You've never done this before or what?
No, first time. So we're in America, and there's nothing better than American muscle. These cars behind us are awesome. Dodge killed these cars. They look amazing. This one might look familiar to you. It was on season 2. We put exhaust cutouts on it, and right now we're gonna show you what we did. Show the folks what we did, Ziggy.
Let's see if they can notice right off the bat.
Probably not, because it's a super clean install.
Yeah.
What's that? Is that a hairdryer over there?
That's a blower.
Yeah?
ProCharger hooked us up with a full kit for this 2015 Scat Pack Challenge.
So as you look at these 3 different types of video, they all started with this sound layer. If you just watch that and you don't see any of the other visuals in that video, it'll feel kind of choppy. Or in the instance of a scripted voiceover, you might see absolutely nothing at all. You just hear the sound, and then all of the visuals are laid on top of that. So it's really just this layered effect of you have your sound, and then you're building all of your visuals on top of that. When you look in a video editor, that's what you see. You just see all these different layers. And so the cool thing about that, the way that these videos are edited, is that you can adjust the visuals very easily against the audio. So the visuals can line up anywhere. And what's cool about that is that you can edit that very easily down to the length that you want. So for example, we could make a 2 to 3 or 5 minute video that you might post on YouTube or Facebook. But then we can cut that down to, for example, a 1 minute or a 30-second video that you might use for like a TV advertisement, or to put on Instagram, or to run as a Facebook ad. So it has basically the same starting content. We can just cut it down very easily to fit different formats depending on what you're looking for. I'm going to talk a little bit about live streaming. What we've discussed so far applies mainly to short edited videos that you might use for promo videos or special events or trade shows or for TV or Facebook advertising. But what about live streaming your conferences, fundraisers, meetings, and other events? So live streaming is really a different set of skills. You have to plan ahead, think fast, and keep mistakes to a minimum because you can't always fix them once they happen. Rather than shooting for an edit, you're essentially editing with a video mixer by cutting back and forth between different live sources. Outside of what I learned in college, my first live production experience was right here in Watseka at Trinity Church, launching their live stream due to the impact of COVID. We now have an 8-channel video switcher which has 6 cameras and 2 graphics streams connected, and we live stream every Sunday morning at 9 o'clock. After building this live stream setup for Trinity, I also invested in a system that I could take with me to do other events that were either live streamed only or hybrid in person and live streamed to those who could not attend. I've served several organizations in this live streaming capacity over the past year, including Uplifted Care, See You at Home in Champaign during their One Winter Night fundraiser in February, and Gateway Family Services Rising Tide Conference in Danville, Illinois. I'm offering live streaming services on a limited basis, so if you're interested in live streaming with me, please reach out and we can talk about what your needs are and see if that's something that would be a good fit for both of us. You might be wondering what type of business or organization uses video production. I've been really blessed here at Center Street Productions to have a wide variety of clients and a wide variety of projects for those clients that I've been able to do. I'm not going to be able to list all of them, but here is kind of a highlights reel of what I've been able to do here at Center Street Productions. I've been working with Trinity Church with 3 locations in Watseka, Ashcombe, and Goodland since 2005 in a variety of different ways.
The story of who you are and what you're about needs to be told. The effort and the excellence that you put into what you do, people need to know about that. So when we talk about transforming lives and transforming communities, we want folks to know that those who aren't experiencing love can experience love. Those who aren't experiencing connection can experience connection. Those who aren't experiencing a relationship with their Heavenly Father can experience that. And we help them to know and to understand that, and video is a critical tool toward making that happen. Hey, welcome to Trinity Church. I'm excited. I get the opportunity today to talk to you about how we use video to meet our mission and vision of transforming lives and communities. Video has been essential to our ministry model for more than a decade. We serve multiple communities and multiple campuses across state lines, and so it's so important for us to help our community feel connected, and video is a great way that we can do that. So this is our living room. We can use this setting to host meetings. We can use it as an overflow room on a Sunday morning where we would have the service live fed from our auditorium into this room. So folks who might want to distance a little bit or just desire a different, more comfortable setting can experience video here in this room and still feel a part of everything that's going on here at this campus. Likewise, the videos in the hallway and the foyer help us to be able to get announcements out so that folks can just know at a glance, oh, here's some things coming up, and feel welcome and feel like they know what's happening in the weeks to come. Welcome to the worship space in our Watseka campus. We love to use this auditorium on Sunday mornings for a worship space, also to be able to lend it to the community for different functions and recitals and things of that nature, of which we integrate video into all that we do. We're so thankful we had been using Center Street Productions prior to the pandemic, and video had become a part of our DNA. Instead of just throwing something up on a screen and hoping people watch it, Phil had taught us the value of creating connection and telling a story. And so unfortunately, as we saw many churches and businesses struggling in the pandemic, we were thriving because people were connecting and felt loved and cared for. And so we would point people to Phil and say, hey, listen, he knows how to bring connection through video. And so we're thankful to have a variety of different cameras throughout the room that help people feel like they're really there. So folks who perhaps were immunocompromised or perhaps were ill and couldn't get out, they felt like they were there because we had multiple cameras and multiple angles. And that made a huge difference of our people feeling like, yes, I'm excited to sit through the message this morning because I feel like I'm there. We're so thankful for the opportunity to strategically use video along with other things. things. Phone calls, letters, donuts showing up at the door, whatever it might be, to show people that we care, to show people that they are loved by us and by God, and to help create a connection so that people feel part of a community. But you have a story too. You have a history. You have a product. You have something that you would like your viewers to know about who you are and how you would benefit them. And I'm confident that the use of video will help them to understand in a more real and tangible way.
Through a connection with High Velocity Communications based in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, I've been able to shoot customer stories, recruiting videos, and product demonstrations showcasing construction and electric power equipment across the United States, benefiting Caterpillar and Caterpillar dealers. Through a connection with Shaw Media based in Crystal Lake, Illinois, I've been able to serve a variety of businesses and organizations in the south suburbs of Chicago, creating 30-second and 1-minute social media advertisements. Through a connection with Megillah Entertainment based out of New York City, I was able to shoot for the reality show Wrenched with Nichols Paint and Fab right here in Watseka, as well as with the Monster Jam University location in Paxton, Illinois for Discovery Channel. Through a connection with Arsenault Media Productions in Kankakee, Illinois, I've worked closely with Uplifted Care in Bourbonnais as they opened their Grief Center and rebranded from Hospice of Kankakee Valley. I also traveled to India with Van Drunen Farms and Futureceuticals, and I provided aerial drone video and photography services to CSL Behring in Bradley, Illinois. Through Iroquois County TV, a project that I launched several years ago on Facebook and YouTube, I worked with many great local groups, organizations, private schools, businesses, and churches to highlight events, people, and of course, Iroquois County. In closing, I'd like to share this video with Dr. Dale Daniel, Executive Pastor at Second Church in Danville, Illinois, and then we'll be right back with live question and answer right after this. Thanks for checking this out, and thanks for being with us today for this presentation.
Hi, I'm Dale Daniel. I'm Executive Minister at Second Church of Christ, and I want to talk to you about how video has played such a key role in how we communicate, not only to our congregation, but to our community. It's played a very transformational aspect in who we are as a congregation and our impact on the community. So I'd like to take you on a tour of our building and just talk about how video has played such an important role for us. So the space that we're in right now is what we call the Commons. And it's become a very important area for us as a church where our congregation, our members gather together and connect with one another. But we didn't always have this space. In fact, about 10 years ago, we were running about 4 services in one auditorium, and we just had these narrow hallways, which affectionately were called the cattle chutes, because it was just a matter of people moving in and out of the building for services. And we didn't really have a place for people to gather and connect. And so we knew that we needed additional space, and so we started this journey towards an expansion project to create this commons that you're seeing right now. But when we launched this idea to the congregation, it was met with a lot of resistance. And it wasn't until we actually started to tell stories and cast the vision through video that people began to get it, and it clicked, and it completely changed the whole nature of that campaign. And what we learned from that is the value and the importance of using video to communicate to our people. So not long after we completed the Commons renovation, we realized that we needed more space for children and teens ministry. The space I'm standing in right now is what we call the Family Commons, and it's connected to 2 large additions that we added just a couple of years ago, one for Kids World and the other for student ministry. Both of those expansions together all were about 15,000 square feet and cost about $3 million. We saw the need for this because our ministries, both children and teens, were expanding significantly. And of course, when we started the campaign, we knew that we needed to tell the story to be able to communicate to the rest of our congregation why we needed this space. So we contacted Phil with Center Street Productions, and he helped us to tell the stories of several families and the impact of ministry that this church had had in their lives. So with the help of Center Street Productions, we were able to raise nearly $2.5 million through that campaign and through the stories that we were able to communicate. The impact's been enormous because we've been able to reach more families and more kids. Prior to our expansion project, our attendance was averaging around 1,200. Our attendance went to about 1,400 and was quickly approaching the 1,500 numbers right after we opened this wing. Well, this is our main auditorium. We actually have 2 auditoriums here in our building. And as you can see from all the seats that we see a lot of people that come on a Sunday morning, roughly about 1,400 people, not only just in our auditoriums, but even online. Because of the size of our church, and we have people in 2 different venues and online, it's really important that what we communicate is consistent. But we also have the challenge of being able to communicate the heart stories that really impact people's lives. And so we love to tell the stories of how faith has helped people in their journey through life. For example, there's the one story of a lady who had to struggle with the issue of forgiveness, and that related to the murder that happened to her mother about 40 years ago. Other stories, somebody who struggled with an addiction or someone who's struggling with cancer. These kinds of stories help to connect our church together. This is our second auditorium that we opened several years ago as a part of a renovation program that we did. This space reminds us a lot of community outreach because a lot of the videos that we've created have not just been internally focused, but they've been outwardly focused as well. And so we have a lot of the community that comes in and is involved here in this space, and we've produced a lot of videos to tell stories about things that have happened around the community through the Global Leadership Summit, through the Step Up Initiative, even through our prison here locally. I think of one ministry in particular, the Danville Rescue Mission, that we helped to fund a video to help generate and increase their support revenue. And it was significant. The response to that video just really helped to drive up the community, not only just the community awareness, but also their financial support as a ministry. And so the list goes on and on about how video has played a key role in telling the story of things that are happening, not only just in our church, but also in our community.
All right, thank you, Phil, for that awesome presentation. Now we are going to kind of enter the live portion of our webinar, and we're going to invite Phil to step on screen.
Hey, how's it going? Hopefully you can hear us this time around.
Yeah. This is kind of funny for us. We've actually worked on lots of projects together, but we're on the other side. So if we're visibly uncomfortable, that's why.
This is very stressful for me.
Yes. So now you know how everybody else feels.
Behind the camera.
Right. Me too, definitely. But thank you again for joining us. We want to open up the floor now to some question and answers. We had a question come in through the chat box, so I wanted to ask that first, Phil, and then we can open it up. You guys can unmute and ask questions. We can hear you. So the first question was, in a very, what are the struggles and advantages of digital media versus print media, and what are some things that you see advantages, disadvantages of those mediums?
Yeah, so I don't have a lot of experience with print media, but I actually work for several companies that do print media, and then they've added a video portion to that.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll run a story on or an advertisement in the newspaper, and then they also have a video that will post on their Facebook page and Instagram and things like that. also, so like I do some work with a marketing company that works with Caterpillar, and they also they'll run it. They make these marketing brochures for the dealers, and then they'll have a companion video that goes right along with the story that they make in print media. So I think I don't see print media going away. I mean, I know there's been some challenges with that, and radio as well. I think there's there's a huge advantage to that when you're in a local community and everyone listens to the same radio station. But I guess I see video more as like a companion along with print media, not necessarily a direct replacement for that. I mean, I know some people see that, but I think it's two different mediums. It's two different ways of consuming content. And I think that they can play together very nicely.
Absolutely. I know in our situation, we've used testimonial videos, especially where we have taken the sound bites from the testimonial videos and we've written them or made them into written blogs for our website, or we took the sound bites and we used them for the radio commercials and things like that. So we've done that also, where we're trying to make them all intersect and create a really nice campaign.
I mean, I'm in video, but I don't, I'm on the production side of things, so I don't. I experience the marketing part of it. I don't have a lot of marketing training, but one of the things that I heard is that you have to hear something 7 times before you remember it, and video becomes another thing that people hear, people see. So if that's kind of rippled across print and radio, and then your social media video, then I think that makes that message even that much more strong.
Awesome. Okay, so we'll go ahead and open up the floor now to our guests and see if anybody has any questions that they would like Phil to answer for them.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
How's it going?
Hey, Phil, this is Kyle.
Hey, man. What's going on?
One question I had, in Iroquois County, we have a lot of different size businesses. Would you say that video is more helpful to larger businesses?
I think that's a good question. I hope in the presentation you got to see, just a wide variety of different size businesses that are using video. I think that it can be very useful to small businesses and to large businesses. I would say that the bigger the business, probably the more opportunity of different types of videos. Like, for instance, like an internal video, from the CEO who wants to communicate to his staff or something like that. Like in a small business, maybe that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. In a much larger business, it does. So I've done quite a few different kind of like internal messaging type things. One of the kind of like big business type things that I did for CSL Bearing quite a few years ago was they had a lot of senior scientists on staff that knew a lot of things, and they wanted to be able to disperse that information throughout all of their employees that were kind of like engaged in that process. And doing a video presentation with those guys was a way that they could get, rather than having like 6 or 7 different lectures and trying to get everyone to be able to attend those. And the other thing is that, now they have those processes recorded. So that's kind of an internal type thing. That's kind of a big business type thing that you might not need to do in a smaller size business. But there's tons of opportunities for small businesses to be able to kind of put themselves on the map with a great video. I can think of a lot of different small businesses that we interact with here in Iroquois County. Some of them I've done video for, some of them I haven't. But I do think that for a small business, to kind of put yourself on the map, I guess, I think it's really a valuable thing. I don't know if that helps answer your question, Kyle.
No, it does. Thank you.
And definitely too, like the recruiting piece that you talked about, that's the struggle that we hear all the time right now, is that businesses are having to close for or do limited hours because they don't have the staff. I mean, the recruiting videos that you talked about would be great in those situations too, to help them grow.
Absolutely. Yeah, just kind of showcasing, like one of the things I talked about in the video is in the presentation that I did, is that video isn't magic. Video is really just a reflection of who you are. And so I think thinking about like in terms of recruiting, like if you can reflect who you are and why people would want to work for you, I think that's a really, really valuable thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other questions from the group?
Question.
Hi, Emily.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, what's your question?
Okay, just wondering for Phil, how has the pandemic affected your business?
That's a great question. When the pandemic hit and the state shut down, I had a pretty busy calendar planned, and all of that got wiped off. And so for the first couple of weeks, I was really scrambling, trying to figure out, what I was going to do. So yeah, that was really challenging. And then it really kind of threw my work with Trinity Church. I've worked with Trinity Church since 2005, and we currently Trinity Church has 3 different campuses. Typically, there's one live preacher on Sunday morning, and then the other 2 campuses have video. And so I have been providing that video for quite a few years. And so we just started talking about, we had kind of been playing around with the live stream. I actually wasn't that involved in it. They just had a camera plugged in. It was a super grainy, like big wide shot. And it was kind of like, if you can't make it to church and you want to have that connection, like you can do that, but it wasn't something that we were really focusing on. And we basically started realizing like, hey, this little thing that we've been kind of playing with is all of a sudden like the only way that we can do church. So I really got involved in that. We pre-recorded services for probably 3 months or so. And then when they went back live, I had taken that time to invest in and build out a live stream setup for them, which I talked about in the presentation a little bit. And so that helped me kind of focus and say like, okay, things are changing a little bit. If people can't meet in person, there is this live stream option, and how can I get involved in that and help people with that? Because that's basically the calls I started getting was like, hey, can you help me do a live stream? And I was like, well, I don't know, but I'm going to figure it out. So yeah, that was really a huge shift for me. I would say, I wouldn't say that completely replaced my business, but definitely during the time where, you couldn't go anywhere without people being afraid that you're spreading the virus. That was definitely a big focus for me.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's kind of interesting. So with the dip that we've seen this summer, I have all kinds of, kind of the shoot and edit type projects coming back. So like that's booked my calendar like crazy because that came back really fast. And I'm still doing the live streaming. And now that the virus has kind of peaked again, and we're kind of looking at that again, I'm getting those requests for live streaming again. So it's kind of a interesting, I think live streaming has a place. I think it will always be here now. I don't think that it's ever going to be the only way that we communicate, but I think it's another tool that we have in our toolbox.
Absolutely. And I can speak to that too, just with the events that because I was one of those people that reached out to Phil and was like, we have this big event, we can't do it live, can you help me? And he's like, yes, let me bring 6 trucks of equipment and we'll do it. And we've
it's not stressful at all.
No, it's not stressful at all. It's not stressful at all. But we rebranded our entire organization. And one of the things, like you said, it's not going to replace that face-to-face communication in the future, but we did our candlelight memorial service, which is our largest event for uplifted care, our largest bereavement event of the year. And we did it in a live stream model. And one of the pieces of feedback that we got is I was able to invite my family from Utah and my family from Denver. And so we were able to connect all of these people that would not have been able to attend in person. So moving forward, post-pandemic, if we ever get there, we're going to do a hybrid model of that event every year just to allow other people to attend and other people to be engaged with it. So I think for us, it's really opened a lot of doors and made us think outside the box and made us pull our hair out a lot of times because it is a stressful
that last second tech issue where you tested everything and it's like, oh, that's not working, what's going on? But we're getting there.
Yes.
So
live events.
Yeah.
But
yep.
All right, great. Well, does anyone else have any other questions that they would like Phil to answer? No?
One of the things that we were talking about is just the with the pandemic and kind of with, the upheaval in housing. And I think a lot of people, you talk about cities and like people wondering, like, for example, in Chicago, why am I still in Chicago? Things are changing, things are kind of scary. They're looking for places to relocate. And one of the things that I would really love is for Iroquois County to stand out as being a place that, even if you're not here locally in Iroquois County, like a lot of the work I've done is focused on that kind of local connection, local, just helping people connect locally. But if you are looking for a place to stay that's kind of close to Chicago, but like, not that far or whatever, I would hope that Iroquois County would stand out as being a place where, you search for Iroquois County and you have all these great videos of all these great events and great people and great places, great businesses to serve you. So that's a vision that I have, is that, kind of that, what's our digital signature, I guess, that you would think about it maybe, or what's our, I don't have the right word for it, but, how do we look from the outside? And it's not that we're, fake or like trying to like message something or market something that's not real. Like, these are real, authentic people, real businesses, real organizations doing some pretty awesome stuff. And we really care, and there's people that really care here. So I guess I hope that gets communicated through my work here in Iroquois County. That's something that I really care about, and I hope that it helps encourage people here in Iroquois County that this is a great place to be, and there's great people here. But also that somebody that's looking for a place that would help them find out about us.
Absolutely, and I think that kind of goes back to the first question that was asked about the difference between print and digital. Our local print media and local radio stations are really, really important to get the message out about what you're doing in your business for the residents that live here. But yours, while it does the same, it also reaches those people, and you're able to reach people, that are looking for that. Where do I want to relocate to? Do I want to, am I ready to move my family? Where's a good place to move my family? I feel like the work that you do really is able to tell that story of what we have to offer.
One of the things about online video that's kind of interesting to think about is with print media, you get the newspaper on a certain day, you read it, it might go in the trash. If it's something that's really important to you, you might put it in a drawer or you might frame it on a wall, and it would last in that way. With radio, you hear it on the radio and then it's gone. With video online, you create a video and 10 years later, it's still there. It's still coming up in Google searches. It's still connected to your location. In the instance of Iroquois County videos, things that are kind of branded as Iroquois County. So that video actually has a really long, they call it a long tail. It has a really long, it might not get a ton of views. It might not get a lot of hits.
Right.
One of the things I've noticed on Facebook with a lot of the Iroquois County TV videos that I've done, people actually share those on the anniversary of that video. So like there was the initial hit of, wow, everybody, it's, you bring people together, and then it's like, for them, that becomes this like special memory that they will keep sharing year after year after year after year, and people keep engaging in that.
Right.
And some of those things start to get outdated, and that's okay. But I think to me, it just really speaks to the value of investing in video in our county.
Absolutely, because your money will go a long way.
Yeah.
And also what you're trying to say is choose your outfits wisely, because it's never going to go away.
That's true.
So if you wear something horrendous, it's going to be shared over and over and over. Yeah. All right, awesome.
And if you have kids on video, you'll always be reminded.
Yes.
They grow so fast.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, great. Any other questions from the group? All right, awesome.
Cool. Well, hey, thanks for having me.
No problem. Thanks for helping us kick it off. And
yeah, hopefully people enjoyed this and learned something. And I love what I do. So
awesome. Well, thank you for presenting. We did do we want to share the slides on the screen again for our upcoming stuff? And again, when we're working with the person that's running everything, the transitions might get a little awkward, but it's great. So just a couple updates from the chamber. We have our Super Saturday event coming up on September 11th in Gilman. It's sponsored by the Iroquois County Chamber and the City of Gilman.
Okay, hold on one second.
Okay.
Super Saturday?
Yeah.
There you go. Nope, not yet.
Hang on. Okay, there we go. So we have our Super Saturday event coming up on September 11th in Gilman. We are still open for vendors for that. We have a lot of really great things that are going to be happening all day for that. So if you want to be a vendor, you can email our email address at iroquoiscountychamber@gmail.com. Check us out on Facebook. Make sure you follow the Iroquois County Chamber page. Make sure you follow the Super Saturday page. We have our own dedicated Super Saturday page. And then also we will be doing the next installment of our webinar series. We're going to be doing that on the third Wednesday of every month. So the next one is going to be September 15th, and that is going to be talking a little bit more in depth about our services at Uplifted Care, more specifically our rebrand. So that's a very business topic on what led us to doing a rebrand and kind of where it's taken our business from there. And then we are still also, we have a pretty good lineup of speakers for the next few webinars. So if you are interested in being a presenter for one of these, and you can be in the hot seat, but it's fun, I promise. Please email us at iroquoiscountychamber@gmail.com and we can get you on the schedule. And if you have any other questions or are interested in learning anything else about the Iroquois County Chamber, make sure you follow us on Facebook, give us a call, send us an email, set up a meeting. We will be happy to meet with you and let you know all the awesome things we have coming up. So thank you for joining us, and I hope everyone has a great day.